everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Last run started hard, finished real easy. This one, ooh, there's good and bad. Eli 9 Gisbeck. Oh, you don't know Eli 9 Gisbeck? He's a science fiction author, heavily influenced by the works of Tarkovsky. Wait, Tarkovsky? Who wrote Solaris? And by wrote, I mean directed. I don't know, okay? He wrote Stalker as well. You know what I'm getting at. Don't be pedantic. This run is both good and bad to start. You know, much like a lot of Isaac runs, it's got some real positives and it's got some real negatives. PokeGo has given us a really, really solid familiar to start with. And, you know, we have problems, particularly our rate of fire. Every time I get jebaited by puberty. I think it's going to be bad, and then I look at the card and I'm like, oh, you made me read. Just to figure out that it's actually great. A charmed, frowning gaper appears. What day of Christmas is that? 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 frowning gapers, and a devil deal on the caves 3. Doesn't really work because there's only 2 caves, but anyway. We lost our PokeGo friend. The real problem, again, rate of fire. Once every 3 rooms, our damage stat, I would say more than compensates for the rate of fire being kind of bad. But we're not really looking to break even, you know. The whole Isaac methodology is we're getting to that hockey stick of eternal growth, you know, where every single floor that goes on, we get a little bit better than the amount that we got better on the floor preceding it. Hopefully. HP plus luck. So we basically have a choice. We can either get the bean, or we can, because I think we've been to every room. To be honest, I want Bob's brain. So rare to get a penny out of the poop, I think. But to get 2 pennies out of the poop is ridiculous. Hold on, I'm going to chair up a little. There we go. I'm just trying to make sure I'm in a good spot here. Feet firmly on the floor. Back relatively straight. Quick little ergonomics check. Oh, we have not done this room yet. Okay. So the thing is, I mean, that's unfortunate, but I want to get a bomb one way or the other, because I actually would much rather get Bob's... Basically, the choice is get Bob's brain or leave Bob's brain, because I think we definitely would all agree that Book of Belial beats the bean, although the bean is not horrible. Book of Belial is definitely good enough to keep. So we want a bomb or a key that could allow us to get a bomb. Okay. As you might expect, I would prefer not to have to go through the shop to make this happen, but it is what it is. Did we already go to our... Yeah, we went to the curse room, right? I believe so. No bomb. So, what do we do? I'm going to be a little bit risky, and I'm going to choose not to buy anything, even though a Spirit Heart gives us a very, very, very good chance of getting a deal with the devil. Instead, we're going to hope for an arcade. And I'm not even going to pick up the bean. Isn't there... There might be a bean transformation, but I'm protesting. I'm exercising my Henry David Thoreau-esque constitutional right to not take anything, and I stand by it. Now, you could give me the virus, a speed down, which is probably still worth it with 1.1 speed. Can't you also pay out with a troll bomb, though? No troll bomb. There's our bomb. I am willing to take the pill. Perks. Okay, good enough. Let's not throw our Spirit Heart away right away. This will be huge. So I'm not going to say that we made the right decision because I think it's way too early to tell. Also, probably one of the strongest plays I've made here. That's how desperate I am with this, you know. What I would essentially say is I halved DPS early on thanks to our terrible rate of fire. This arcade, assuming there was a blood bank, which there was. Come on, work with me here. You don't even have to give me blood bag, although I would obviously love it. What I want to see more than anything else is some kind of permanent improvement. And we could get a permanent improvement from Blood Bag. You know, we don't need speed desperately, but it's always nice to have. But if you could even give me IV Bag, I think I would take that over Book of Belial, even though it's a touch, maybe, I don't even know if I'd say it's unconventional, but could be a bit spookier. I'm not really willing to spend a lot of time playing this guy because he has a disrespect of our time, but we'll see. Because we might have no other avenues by which to gain keys. Just going to say, yeah, there was like a very, very likely chance that we were unable to get out of the way there. Deal with the Devil, still fine. Basically boils down to being able to keep ourselves alive on this floor. And this is the position I mean, I'd prefer to be in a situation where we're just dominating, but, you know, I don't mind this. Being in a position where, you know, the two choices are we live and are basically guaranteed to improve ourselves via a deal with the Devil, or we die and, you know, I mean, at that point we're just dead, but rarely does that seem to be the case. So we could take a look at this early. Do we want to go in here? For a single regular chest, it's a little bit low tier. This is an incredible get. And dude, Locust of Conquest. I'm guilty for sure of feeling sometimes like all of the Locusts are the same. This one is better. And you know what, we'll take this so we can get more play, and we'll take this as well. And I think we're going to take the card. I know it's a heavy spend, but I think there's a good reason to do it. Let's see. So we have a boss first. Run. I almost had it, but I'm glad I bought the Spirit Heart at least. No, Vis, don't do it! There was so much to live for. We're going to be still a little reckless. I want to go to our item room first, because, like, for real, our DPS is bad enough to make me... to motivate me to do this. So helpful to have these flies. Nothing. Alright. Well, you can't be too happy that you got GB Bug there. But it is something. And this is where we're going to see if we're going to get a little something extra. Toss down this Judgment. It's a regular Judgment. Synergizes with the Blood Bag, but obviously we were hoping for a Demon Judgment maybe to synergize even further. Will I stick with the IV Bag as prognosticated? No. No, I will not. Should be a secret room. Based on what we had seen earlier. I don't like that very much. Okay, because we only have 3 cents, we're going to play you. And, you know, this is just good habit, to be honest. And I think at this point we can actually just leave. I think we've made the right decisions there. We didn't get the upgrades that we wanted, although we're happy to have the map. But we gotta, you know, own up and accept that, you know, just because we didn't get what we wanted, that doesn't mean we're gonna get what we want if we keep, you know, trying to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Instead, we gotta be a little bit conservative, I think, in this situation and hope that this deal with the Devil carries us a little bit. Because we really, like, we took advantage of that shop, or that arcade. And keep in mind, the only reason we got the arcade is because we chose not to buy a Spirit Heart. So, on the last floor. So everything's kind of coming up according to the way that we had wanted it to. We just haven't gotten the payouts that we wanted. This is a different story, because this is actually awesome now. Certainly we want to take Judas's Shadow. First, I think we're going to take Horror Babylon. And then we're going to take Shade. And then we're going to take Shovel and use it. What item do we want to stick with? I think we still want to stick with Book of Belial. It's just a little too dangerous. We'll respawn as Dark Judas. We'll also have Whore of Babylon active. Yeah, so we have 11 damage, 10 rate of fire. Basically, it would be hypocritical to complain. Look at this. In one floor, we basically quadrupled our damage. And that's not even in keeping with the, you know, the DPS upgrade that we got. So I'm feeling real good about it. Sorry, was that a golden chest? It is a golden chest up there. And then we got an XL floor that can put us right back on schedule. The only problem now is HP. So we traded. That's the legacy of the first 2 floors. We traded our DPS problem for an HP problem. And I'll do that 10 times out of 10. Now, what I will not do is go to that curse room because I like living. I find that, oh, dude, a single key gives us the ability to fly. Better than the item room. Yeah, well, bomb here. Yo, this is amazing. Bomb here, check this out. We have to use a bomb and a key. But then, once we get our bomb back, and you know what? Now I will go into this room, and it's slightly scary, but we got a golden key out of it. It's all coming into place. We did this, by the way. Oh, I didn't even see that tinted rock there. But now we can open this. Sure, give me as many as you'd like. That's more money. At least we can go to our item room. But we really... Dude, the soul is so good as well. We basically now just want bombs. It's okay. Like, this is actually amazing now. This run went from legitimately like a 5 to like an 8.5. There is absolutely nothing to complain about whatsoever. And I do, you know, I don't want to make it too much about us. But still, at the same time, I'm like, we did this. It's not like a butterfly effect Ashton Kutcher situation where, like, you know, exclusively as a result of not taking that Spirit Heart on the first floor were we able to make this happen. But it's not too far off. Really, the percolation that we've had outwards here has been off the chain. Off the planet. Isn't he going to freeze himself? Don't hit me. Keep in mind, by the way, this is the harder floor. We have, we have maps, so we'll take the compass. And I think that we're just fine moving on from this point onwards. But this is one of the fastest runs I've ever seen from like an improvement standpoint in recent memory. It really, like, short of getting Brimstone or Mom's Knife or, you know, just Guppy from a single deal with the devil, that one deal with the devil, which actually largely contained items that were situational at best, basically cemented us here. And then now having the ability to fly on top of everything else is good. Okay. Well, turns out this early on we can probably stop talking about Isaac. It's it's a high pressure situation because it means I need to think of other things to talk about. Dude, I don't know. It's almost the new year. What a wild situation. You know that when you get older, if you're not here already, I used to think it was a ridiculous statement, but time really does fly. And it's not like at least at this point, it's not really like a sad thing. It's just the reality of the situation. You know, I think when your life becomes a little bit more routine, the years start to really whip by quickly. Like, I can remember, I'm trying to think. It's always a time to take stock of the situation and be grateful, by the way. Like, I remember when I first started, like, in this time, it was probably like 2 weeks ago, 5 years ago. I came back from Korea and I was like, I'm going to give this YouTube thing a shot with full-time hours. And, you know, even if I'm only able to do it for like 6 months or a year, I will consider that to have been like an incredible gift. And here we are. Like, if I could hear myself 5 years ago saying this now, that would obviously have been a great comfort to me. But here we are, and I've been doing it full-time for like 5 years. So that's an incredible milestone for one. So thank you for that. That's not me. It's a collaborative effort. But mostly, it's you. I know there's a tinted rock, but I think we're actually just good to go. But you know, I even just being able to be like, I've been doing this for 5 years is indicative. It's like, it doesn't seem like that long, but simultaneously it feels like a lifetime ago. I hesitate to even bring it up because I worry that some people will be watching the episodes and they'll be like, oh my god, I've been watching Isaac since 2012. Actually, you know what? It was 6 years ago I came back from Korea. That's even crazier. So I've been doing it full time for 6 years. But I mean, it's like once you hit that 5-year milestone, you can't celebrate 6 years. It's like 5 years, 10 years, and then 50 years. It's like a wedding anniversary, right? Like you can celebrate it privately, but if you are talking to a stranger and you're like, yeah, my wife and I celebrated our, 11th year anniversary, they're going to be like, oh, congratulations. But simultaneously, you're like, in your head, maybe I'm a bad person. But in my head, I'm like, 11 years is not that, It doesn't warrant a better reaction than congratulations. 10 years, I'd be like, oh my God, that's a big milestone. 15, 20, 25, of course. It's like if somebody tells you it's their birthday, you're going to say happy birthday no matter what. But to some extent, your reaction is going to change. If they're like, I'm turning 41, you'd be like, happy birthday, dude. If they were like, I'm turning 40, you'd be like, oh my God. How do you feel? Are you okay? That's huge, etc. It's arbitrary, but some of those milestones are more valuable in other people's eyes than others. There's a rounding up and a rounding down that happens, I think. Excuse me. Why have you chosen to do this to yourself? I'm a little offended. I mean, I got PokeGo for free for starting as Eden, but simultaneously, you didn't have to, just squander my resources like that, my friend. Yo. Plenty of money. So yeah, I mean, New Year's, I've grown to like New Year's, to be honest. I think I've grown to like New Year's because holidays change as you age, I guess, is another thing I'm going to bring up. That's going to be like the central theme of this right here. As much as I rail on St. Patrick's Day was really fun when I was like, 20. And I think if you're 20 and or you're 25 and you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day, that's fine. There just comes a point at which, if you're a little judgmental, like I have a tendency to be, it's a bad habit, but it's also why you're here to some extent. It starts to become like a little sadder, right? Like, if you see like a bunch of college kids on a Tuesday on St. Patrick's Day getting hammered, you go, that's college life. If you see a bunch of 50-year-olds getting hammered on a Tuesday for St. Patrick's Day, I don't know. I feel like there's one of two ways you kind of handle it. Yo, let's stop there then. Not our dangerous discourse. Let's continue with that. It's like in Knocked Up, where Leslie Bibb's character, she's worried about growing older, because she thinks that, as she ages, she's going to lose some of her beauty, and, that compromises her value somewhat as a woman in the modern society. And then, what's the guy's name? Craig Robinson is the bouncer at the club. And he's like, lady, you're too old to be here. And then she starts to cry. And he's like, that doesn't mean... I mean, he gets a little crass with it. You know how they make these Judd Apatow movies. But he's like, that doesn't mean, like, I don't find you attractive. It just means, like, what are you doing here? This is where, like, kids go to hang out. This is why after you've just turned legal drinking age, you go to hang out. You should be looking, at this point in your life, for different things. I think. And then that's the central premise of that part in the movie, which as a 20-year-old, when I saw it, I was like, ha 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 ha, she's old. Now that I'm a little older, I'm like, that bouncer is absolutely correct. You just, it's not made for you. And that's fine if you want to still try to fit in. I'm not even saying there's any negative about that. You should do whatever you'd like to do. Don't let some YouTuber naysay you. But simultaneously, you might get some looks. Which is also fine, as long as you're willing to deal with the looks. Or the Craig Robinsons of the world. I mean, it's not him, it's his character, but you get the idea. I've started to enjoy New Year's a lot more now that I'm older. And it's kind of, now that I think about it, it's actually like in conflict with what I was about to say. Because New Year's is kind of another young person's holiday in that, when you're between the ages of like, oh no, I didn't go to the shop. Mega's giving me too much power. When you're between the ages of like late teens and late 20s, it's a holiday that's largely about getting messed up on adult beverages. At least up here. Give me scapular, and I'm willing to do this. Because of Mega. Now that I've, and I used to have to, I remembered, and Malv will tell you the same thing. We had, a little, college reunion get-together, maybe in 2013. And we all went to Toronto, and we stayed at Malv's apartment. And on New Year's, I was not married, but, I was in a relationship with Kate. But a lot of my friends were single, and they were like, let's go out to this club for New Year's. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. And I had to deal with derision. They were like, live a little bit, it'll be fun. And I was like, I've never really found that stuff fun to begin with. But now that I'm at an appropriate age where people no longer judge me for being like that, New Year's is so much better. Because I'm like, hey, what do you want to do for New Year's? And people are like, you want to get a nice dinner and then watch some fireworks? And I'm like, absolute, hell yeah, brother, let's do that. That sounds wonderful. There probably would have been a time in my life where if I had heard myself say that, I would be like, oh, that's sad. You've lost your spirit of adventure. That's not true. It's just that, when I was a college-aged individual, my spirit of adventure was basically what's your willingness to irresponsibly party on any given night? And no longer do I consider that a value that's, really important in my life. And again, when you're 20, 21, 22 is fine. But if you're... And I think there actually might come another age where it's okay, too. If my parents were like, let's get messed up, I would be like, Mom, that's a little sad. You're in your 50s, you should be starting to get accustomed, I should say, to a slower and wiser pace of life. But if my grandma was like, let's get lit. Right? Let's take it a step further. If she said, let's get Liddy, right, guy, I would be like, yo, Nan, what's gotten into you? So maybe you come around the circle at some point. It's not about taking myself too seriously, to be honest. It's more about just now I can finally not pretend to like the things that you're supposed to, well, not supposed to, but a lot of people like when you're that age. Now that, New Year's is coming up in a little while, my parents are going to be here, and I'm like, dude, that sounds nice, My 50-something parents are going to be here. What are we going to do? Probably, get a nice dinner and then watch the 9 p.m. fireworks. Maybe they can push it till a midnight firework. Because we live on the West Coast, but they do 9 p.m. fireworks just in case, you can't stay awake because of time zones. And, they do them in Toronto at that time as well because that's when it's really midnight for them. You get the idea. If they could push it, so be it. But, I've really come to value, especially now that my sleep schedule is good, relative to other Twitch streamers and YouTubers. Dude, I value, a morning of feeling good so well right now. Or so much right now, I should say. I love waking up and just being I got enough sleep. It's early, but I'm not tired, and I got a full, rich day ahead of me. And if that makes me a nerd, well, I've self-identified as one for a long time. Okay, hold up. But, Nan, if you want to get Liddy, you know who to call. Probably one of the other cousins. But, I'll show up.
Can I have a lambic sour, please?
That's me, without my YouTube voice on.
How much gluten is in this?
I don't say that.
Can I have the French fries replaced with a cheddar jalapeno soup?
Yeah, whatever, nerd. You got a permit for that soup? Okay. Dude, this has been 2 very, very, very merciful, solid runs in a row. I don't know what our HP is. The only reason that has me even slightly twisted up right now is because of... hold on. Please pop up. Is because of the deal with the devil potentiality. But, apart from that, I'm feeling really good. These bosses get absolutely destroyed here. But, I think that the holiday power rankings change as you get older. Absolutely. Like, for example, you know what holiday gets way better as you get older? Any day off that comes in the summer. Because when you're, 10 years old, it's July 4th, it's Canada Day. I'll admit, in my ignorance, I don't know when Bastille Day is. You know what? Let's look it up. Maybe I can remember it. Bastille Day. July 14th. Dude, all of these, and by all of these, I mean 3 of these Independence Days are all in July. It makes it easy enough to try to remember. But, thank you. Okay, be careful here. Just, we can always take Abaddon, which is nice. Oops, I forgot to do the hush fight. Those holidays, as a kid, they're nice. You get to go to a barbecue, watch some fireworks, hang out with your friends. As an adult, those holidays are way better because you also get a day off work. Whereas a kid, unless you're in summer school or, I don't know, some kind of camp or something like that, it's probably just another day. So those days get like way better. What holidays get worse? I don't know. I think Halloween gets worse, but I came to that realization when I was like 12. Not everybody has the same dispirit about Halloween. Does Christmas get worse? I don't know. It gets different. If you're a child of the age where you buy nothing and receive things, Christmas is pretty good. As an adult, it's not really, we don't buy for many people. But it's not really the financial hit. It's more just like, the task of buying makes it slightly less enjoyable. But you also, I think, as I've gotten older, I've enjoyed spending time with family more, and that more than cancels out the, unpleasantness of trying to figure out what they would like you to buy for them. So it gets better and worse. The only ones I'm comfortable saying, St. Patrick's Day. I recognize there's probably like 8 times a year I hate on St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to hit you with the compromise. Just move it to a Saturday. Make it the second Saturday in March, and everything's fine. I will still take Explosivo here. That would eliminate all of my St. Patrick's Day related concerns. Or, here's the thing. We could continue with the uneasy compromise we have right now, which is, if you enjoy St. Patrick's Day, continue to enjoy it. And, leave it at the same point where it is right now, and I'll keep complaining. That's just because I'm complaining. I definitely don't believe that every complaint means something needs to be changed. I mean, if we change something every time somebody complained, nothing would ever stay the same, So sometimes it's just nice to complain and feel superior. It's a bad habit, but I come by it honestly. Dude, this run got amazing. No, we don't need Mega. For this, we just hit him 3 times. He's done. I said good day, sir. Great run. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!